Hello and welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. I'm Stacy and thank you for joining me today. If this is your first time here, I'm happy you joined us, and I'll be even happier if you decide to join our community by subscribing to our podcast. I appreciate those that have already subscribed. You're the best because you continue to help us grow, and also you'll be notified whenever we go live or release the latest content. And you can hear us wherever you get your podcasts. And last, please go to your browser and check out more Chargers content from some great writers, along with myself and my co-host, Kyle D, who operates and created Stormcloud.blog. What a great game yesterday. You got to give this Chargers team a lot of credit. They came into Cleveland feeling pretty good after a dominant defensive showing against the New Orleans Saints. And after a shaky start where we saw Myles Garrett, who looked like he was going to wreck this game, but he was neutralized by the sophisticated schemes from Greg Roman, and the Chargers began to settle in, and Justin Herbert went to work on that secondary, and another dominant defensive performance led by Jesse Minter. Last week, it was Ladd McConkey. And this week, it was Joshua Palmer and Quentin Johnston, who's looking pretty good after a disappointing rookie season. Justin Herbert was precise as always with his passes, constantly finding mismatches in the secondary, and the score by halftime was 20-3 Chargers. They've now won 3 of their last 4 games, coming away with big-time wins. This was huge for them because the defense played great. They had 6 sacks and 3 interceptions in the second half. The Chargers played a lot of zone coverages with 2 safeties up high. And Jameis Winston looked baffled and confused yesterday. And when he's not comfortable in the pocket and he's forced to make quick decisions, he's prone to throw interceptions. And the Chargers got 3 of them, and they could have had 2 more. People can talk all they want about blown coverages made by the Cleveland defense, but at some point, you got to give this Chargers team and this defense the respect that it deserves. They are playing at such a high level and only giving up an average of 10 points per game. I think Justin Herbert has really found his rhythm with Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman with what they want to do. I'm really impressed with how Quentin Johnston has bounced back. He was explosive yesterday. He's catching balls deep downfield. He's precise with his route running. The bigger conversation should be around this defense. Halloween arrived last week, and the Saints had to deal with the zombies and the vampires, but the Chargers didn't want Halloween to end, right? They brought the werewolves and the Grim Reaper with them to Cleveland, and Jesse Minter got this defense looking real spooky and scary. With the exception of a couple of big tackles up front, this is the same type of defense that Brandon Staley had over the last few years that looked poor at times. But this defense is as good as anybody's in the National Football League. The Broncos, for being a 5-3 team, were more of a pretender at 5-3 than, let's say, the Chargers at 5-3. I think the Chargers 5-3 is much more impressive, and they're a bigger threat than the Broncos to get in the playoffs and make some noise. And you just can't say enough about J.K. Dobbins. He is all that was advertised, and he told us all. I know you remember the injuries I had in the past, but I'm feeling good, I'm feeling healthy, and you'll see. And then he went on to say the only thing that changed about my game was the uniform. Yesterday, he had 2 more touchdowns on 16 carries and I believe 85 yards rushing. The Chargers have the balance and have a guy that could close out the show and put the game away in the fourth quarter. They still have some leaks on that offensive line. It worries me a little bit. I mean, like, Justin is getting hit a little too much for my liking. And Greg Roman has to do a better job with the pass blocking schemes to keep our guy upright. And I don't know if Joe Ortiz has to bring in another guard or center, or it's just a matter of coaching these guys up more, but they have to fix that to get more from the offense on the ground and in the air. I know people tired of talking about this, and I am too, but I'm going to continue to talk about it until the trading line gets here and it's gone. Why? Because it's still a topic to discuss, especially considering the mysterious injury that came up right before game time with DJ Chark. Simi Fehoko looks like he's going to miss some time after his injury, and I'll be keeping my eyes on the lookout for Charger trades today because they're thin at receiver with injuries to Fehoko, Chark, and Rice now. But what a great day it was to be a Charger. What a great game it was. There was some issues earlier on with Myles Garrett. He was a one-man wrecking crew at one point. I've never seen Slater get pushed back the way he did and Joe Alt get dominated the way he did. But when you have great pass rushers going against great tackles, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some battles. But overall, the Chargers neutralized Myles Garrett and able to give Justin Herbert the time that he need. He went to work. I mean, I love how the team is starting to gel. It's starting to come together. We like how it looks. I'm excited. Halfway through the season, We're 5-3. We're at home against the Tennessee Titans, which should be a game that the Chargers win as well. But make no mistake about it. Do not underestimate this defense. This defense is one of the best in the National Football League. So one thing that still concerns me a little bit, we're still struggling scoring points in the second half. We have yet to put together 4 straight quarters of consistent fundamental football. And that worries me a little bit that the sizzle starts to fizzle in the second half. But once we can figure that out and you get 4 quarters of good play from the offense to match the defense, this Chargers team is going to be really, really scary. Well, that's all I got for you today. That's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us here at Chargers Talk 4630. Please don't forget to log on to stormcloud.blog if you're looking for more Chargers content. We'll be back later on this week as we give a preview of Sunday's game between the Chargers and Titans. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that now before you leave this podcast. And as always, be good, be safe, be well, be kind to each other. Enjoy the rest of your week, and bolt up.